Life is kill or be killed. Same goes for America. Greed is just another word for growth. The bigger you get, the more you have. The more you have, the more you need. Just a law of nature.
In this video, I'll be going over the key events throughout Season 3 of Power Book 2 Ghost, so that you're all caught up and ready for when the next season arrives. Just a heads up, spoilers ahead. Hey guys, and welcome back to the TV Recap Show. If you enjoyed this video and find it interesting, be sure to like and subscribe. The final episode of Season 2 left Ghost fans eagerly anticipating the release of Season 3, ending with some shocking twists, revelations, and a serious cliffhanger. Unfortunately for some characters, it was the end of the road for them, including Carrie, Zeke, and Mecca. Tariq's partner Braden took the fall for running their drug business course correct, which got him booted from school. We also see Braden and Effie working together to handle Lauren. More on that later. We saw Tariq ask Davis to sell the expensive sapphire ring that he stole from Mecca to help him get back in the drug game. At an auction, it was bought by a young couple. However, we see a mysterious woman keeping eyes on them and eventually demanding the ring back, claiming it is hers. But after refusing to hand it over, the lady we now know as Noma brutally kills the couple and takes the ring. Dante, known as Mecca, left his penthouse to Zeke, who we know was killed by Lorenzo. So it was passed down to Monet Tejada. She let her sons Kane and Drew stay at the new penthouse instead, as Monet decides to stay at her house. Eager to find out who killed Zeke, Monet pushes Davis to find out as soon as possible, because we all know that Monet won't rest until the killer is no longer breathing. In Season 2, Monet's daughter Diana outed Monet and revealed that Zeke was in fact her actual son, not her nephew. This caused conflict between the mother and daughter, and Monet blamed Diana for Zeke's death out of hatred towards her. This brought Lorenzo and Diana slightly closer, in that Lorenzo got Diana into Stansfield in hopes that she could lead a life away from the drug business. Tariq meets Bash, someone who helped him start Course Correct, and offers him equity in the business to help pay off the debts he owes. Bash is one of the few people that can out Tariq as the founder of Course Correct. Kane and Braden are on their way to kill him, but Bash riles up Tariq and Tariq stabs Bash to death. Job done. Tariq and the Tejadas attend a memorial for Zeke at Stansfield, and Tariq speaks about Zeke being a good friend. Following the event, Monet and Tariq have a heart-to-heart over the murder of Zeke, and Tariq promises to find the killer after Monet tells him that he's the only person she can trust. It is revealed that the mysterious woman Noma is actually Mecca's fiancé and partner. After threatening to kill Tariq, Kane and Braden, they offer Noma to move all of Mecca's weight instead. Effie demands that she helps move the weight so she can pay her way through school. Plot twist, Lauren is alive and is in witness protection. Sax asks Jenny about the Thea Rollins file, who we find out is Davis's brother, and she tells him that she's building a RICO case as she waits for Sax to bring more information to her, aka Sax is an informant. Braden hooks up with Kiki, his uncle's assistant, and gets an intern fired as he plans to bring on Tariq as a new intern so they can start selling product at Western Holdings, even though at this point Tariq isn't on board with the plan. Tariq's internship at Tate's office backfired as his classmate Brashandria took his place, sneakily planned by Braden. So Tariq ends up interning at Western Holdings. Tariq sees people doing coke at Western Holdings and realizes that Braden's plan to move product there isn't such a bad idea, so they devise a plan to make it happen.
Zeke was in Mecca's car, getting into Mecca's jet, so I thought he was Mecca.
Kane finds a GTG member that jumped Drew earlier and presents him as Zeke's killer to Monet, even though he knows Lorenzo did it. Obi, Noma's henchman, isn't happy that Tariq, Braden, Effie and Kane could only move half of the weight provided, so he threatens each of their loved ones as an incentive to speed things up. Monet gets harassed by FBI agent Whitman in her bar and things are getting tense as he gets closer to finding out the truth about Monet. At Western Holdings, Tariq and Braden meet with a successful businessman known as RSJ, and he takes a liking to Tariq after Tariq is honest about why he was brought into the meeting. Braden gets involved with a company that deals with crypto, and he has a lightbulb moment when he realizes he can use crypto to clean the money when selling the drugs at Western Holdings through their new coffee cup idea. Basically, a Course Correct remastered. Kane pressures Braden to kill the Russian Connect because he's white and wasn't connected to the Tejadas, but Braden messes up and Tariq comes to their rescue. Again, Braden gets away with not having any blood on his hands, but Kane finds out and threatens to kill Braden if he doesn't step up when required. Lorenzo asks Diana to push weight for him at Stansfield, even though she made it clear she wants out. Extremely annoying, unethical, and desperate. That's right, you guessed it, it's Kevin Whitman. After continuously harassing Monet, Monet had enough. The intel he was gathering was too valuable for anyone to find out about, and Monet had to take care of him. The Land of Opportunity episode gave Monet and Diana an opportunity to make amends in their relationship as they set a plan to get rid of Whitman for good. All Whitman wanted was to catch Carrie's killer, and his instincts were right, but he was in over his head. He fell for Diana's sob story and basically offered himself up to Monet on a silver plate. The moment Monet killed Whitman showed us that Monet really would do anything to protect her family, even killing a cop.
This is not what our infrastructure is built for, okay? We're built to move drugs, not guns.
You promised to replace Mecca. This is what Mecca did.
Now that their drug operation was running smoothly, Noma dropped a bomb on Tariq, Braden, Effie and Kane as they were forced to move guns for Noma, which is out of their comfort zone. They wanted to prove that they could be the new Mecca, so that's exactly what Noma is expecting from them. Kane sets up a deal with militants for the guns in which he makes Braden step up to be the face of it, but the militants get suspicious of Braden and go after him whilst he is with Kane and Lorenzo. Lorenzo saves Kane's life, and Drew and Gordo come to the rescue as backup. Gordo is Drew's current love affair and a close friend to the Tejadas. During class, the students are asked a series of questions to determine where they are placed amongst each other in terms of opportunity. Effie ends up at the back of the line, whereas Tariq ends up at the front, which led to interesting conversations about the nature of opportunity and how hard certain individuals must work to be at the same level as the more privileged. Tariq is invited to another meeting at Western Holdings with RSJ. RSJ decides not to invest in the firm, and if Tariq cannot get him back on board, he will lose his internship. He eventually does get him back on board.
It says Lorenzo Tejada's fingerprints match the partial prints that was found at Zeke's crime scene.
Do you think Lorenzo will get away with Zeke's murder? Well, Monet is starting to get suspicious of him, and let's be real, she almost always figures it out. If Monet finds out the truth, how will she react? Does she kill the father to her children and risk losing them too? Or does she spare him and let him live, knowing that her son's killer is on the loose? If Lorenzo dies, will Kane step up and lead the family? I wouldn't say he's 100% ready to be the leader as he still has a lot to learn. Practice makes perfect, but how much practice time does he have left before he slips up again? Oh, and don't forget that Lauren is alive still. Jenny has been hiding her and Sax is super close to finding out about this. How will Jenny and Sax's unorthodox relationship play out after that?
I thought I was shooting him. But it was Zeke.
Lorenzo finally spilled the truth to Monet about killing Zeke. He might have done this to avoid Monet finding out from someone else, hence covering his back. Nevertheless, Monet would never forgive him. Although it looks like Monet let him go, she had other ideas, but more on that later. Tariq and Effie go on a business trip to Italy with RSJ, Tariq being the fluent Italian speaker and Effie being his +1 essentially. Tariq proves himself to RSJ in the meeting with the Italian tech company. Once business is done, Tariq and Effie go on a date and Noma and Obi appear, tasking them with a retrieval mission at a rival's mansion in Italy. After some complications, Noma finds an opportunity to kill her enemy and retrieve the recording that Mecca hid in his mansion. Sax follows Jenny after she was ignoring him and finds out that Lauren is alive, and oh, was it dramatic. Sax and Jenny were not on the same page when it came to their relationship, and Sax was not happy that Jenny wasn't being honest with him. Although it wasn't right for Sax to be stalking Jenny and eventually finding out about Lauren, he felt like he had no other choice. He is putting his life on the line to be an informant, and he has no clue about what is going on.
Did you tell Brayden to give me to her? You told her to kill me?
Who? Lauren, who the fuck are you talking
Your girlfriend, Effie.
Lauren left witness protection after Sax told her she isn't being forced to stay, and that gave Lauren a sense of control back in her life. She reaches out to Tariq, who was shocked to see her alive, and she tells him about Effie and Brayden's attempt to kill her. At this point, she wasn't sure if Tariq was involved in her attempted murder. Going back to Lorenzo, I'm sure most of you called it, but he is dead. Monet tipped off Gordo that Lorenzo had killed his father, and in a previous episode we saw how badly Gordo wanted revenge for his father's death. We see Gordo kill Lorenzo, and Monet gets the confirmation. Will Kane, Drew and Diana find out about what Monet did, and will they turn on her? But, let's be honest, Lorenzo was dead the minute he killed Zeke. Monet calculated his death to the T. I must admit, it wasn't great seeing Lorenzo die, but in the Powerverse, we have seen the most unfortunate and unexpected deaths you can imagine, so it wasn't a surprise to see. Tariq was in love with Effie, and finding out what she did has torn him. His vision of a life together with Effie has been thrown away the minute he found out about Lauren. Having already confronted Brayden, Tariq decides on a calmer, more St. Patrick approach to confronting Effie. He takes her to a place where she killed Lauren, confronts her, cuts ties with her, and leaves her alone. Tariq may not want to be his father, but that was definitely something Ghost would do. Effie did try to kill Lauren, but only to protect Tariq, and although Tariq may have understood her reasoning, he was too angry to let it go. Unfortunately for Tariq, Noma and Obi made it impossible to get rid of Effie and Brayden, as they still had business to attend to, but working together now would be even more difficult now that Tariq knows the truth. Kane has had his eye on Effie for a while now, and he didn't hesitate to take the chance with her when it came, as he paid for her whole tuition for the year. Kane has been somewhat smart in his decision making this season, and when he realised what was going on between the trio, he became Effie's confidant when the time was right. He also tries to get Brayden on his side too. Drew is out for revenge. He wants to find his father's killer and make him pay. Little did he know that his boyfriend was the one who did it. After ambushing the Russians, Monet leaves a clue for Drew to lead him towards the actual killer. Monet tells Gordo to stay away from Drew, but he ignores her. When Drew and Gordo are together, Gordo receives a text implicating him as Lorenzo's killer. Drew sees this and kills Gordo. The end of another romance for Drew. Will he ever find happiness? Sax and Davis have been trying to get Davis's brother, Theo Rollins, out of prison all season. They go to visit him to prep for his parole hearing. Tariq tries to convince Lauren that he can be trusted. Later, Tariq sneaks into where Lauren is being held and shows evidence that he wasn't involved in her attempted murder. Lauren tells Tariq about the RICO case that the FBI are building. Jenny finally has enough evidence to get the RICO charge, but instead of arresting Tariq or Monet, she arrests Diana, as she finds evidence that she was dealing drugs on the Stansfield campus. Davis eventually finds out that Sax is working with the FBI and is playing both sides. Kane and Effie have an intimate night together.
That place was clean and you know it.
You're not being arrested for drug dealing, Effie.
Then what fucking for?
Attempted murder.
Effie gets arrested for the attempted murder on Lauren, who identified her in a dramatic Power Universe kind of way, and Kane witnessed all of it. Brayden finds out that Western Holdings is a Ponzi scheme. He tells Tariq about the Ponzi scheme that his uncle is running at Western Holdings, and as this threatens Tariq's trust fund and Monet's investment, he threatens Brayden's uncle, Luke, to expose his activities to the SEC, but Luke is one step ahead of them and threatens to expose Brayden and Tariq's drug operation if word gets out, which he found out about from Kiki. Davis's brother, Theo Rollins, is out of prison and is out for blood as he kidnaps Sax, just as he leaves a voicemail to Tariq threatening to never reveal the location of Tasha and Yasmin. Unfortunately for us fans, Theo kills Sax. Sax was one of the Power OGs, and it was sad to see him die. He was so obsessed with getting justice that he was willing to do just about anything to get it. We would have thought that now everyone knows about the RICO and Sax's involvement, the Tejadas would have killed Sax, but no, an unfortunate death too. Tariq helps Obi's family out with a problem and asked Tate for help in doing so. In return, Tate wanted dirt on Western Holdings. Tariq says Western Holdings is clean, but Tate doesn't believe him. He calls the FBI on Western Holdings and they start getting investigated. Brayden's uncle, Luke, goes into hiding and can out Brayden and Tariq to the FBI. Fortunately, Brayden steps up and finally he kills his uncle. He finally got blood on his hands and it was a big one, essentially confirming that he's all in the drug game. Kane, Drew and Diana find out that Monet was behind Lorenzo's murder and it did not go down well with them. A lot of people received a letter from Sax after he died, and one letter in particular had Tasha and Yasmin's whereabouts in it. This got into the wrong hands. Tariq managed to get the letter and quickly went to the location. What he didn't realise is that someone else close to his past had the location too.
The devil.
Please, don't do this, Tommy. You don't want to do this. Don't do this. Tommy, please, don't do
Tommy!
Rick?
Tariq, what the fuck is you doing?
Okay, look, stop. This battle between us has got to end. Put the guns down. Tommy, look at me.
It was Tommy Egan. What a surprise. Tommy and Tasha's beef ran very deep, and if Tommy came here for revenge, he was gonna get it. Tariq, Tasha and Tommy had an intense standoff where guns were pointed at each other. Tariq fell unconscious after getting hit, and Tasha and Tommy disappeared. Later, Tommy finds Tariq and explains that he and Tasha hashed it out. Tariq is starting to realise that he is on his own and he asks Tommy for help, but Tommy replies and says that this isn't his battle. Lauren lies on the stand and frees Effie. Diana stops by Tariq's dorm room and plans a hit on Monet, but when the time came, Tasha shoots Monet and she might be dead. A flashback shows that Drew and Diana wanted to pin the murder on Tariq so Kane could kill him, and Diana is the one who indirectly gave Tommy Tasha's location. Tariq plans to get in close with Noma, but little did he know that Kane, Diana, Drew and Effie all beat him to it and that they are all ready to kill Tariq. Until Brayden once again comes to Tariq's rescue and saves him. It's Tariq and Brayden against the world.
You kidding me? What do we do now?
Man, I don't know. I think we just started a fucking war, though.
What a crazy season it has been. I hope you're all ready for the next season. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you think will happen in season 4 of Power Book 2 Ghost.